This clubhouse is from the 1930s as well, 1936. It was designed by an architect who was also a club member. I think it's just brilliant that we still have the same building. Hello. 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 Could I have a toasted panini with ham, cheese, onion and tomato?
Thank you.
The Women's World Gliding Championships are taking place in the village of Husbands Bosworth in Leicestershire. 2 weeks of competition is due to come to a close this weekend. Claudia Hill is the top-placed British pilot, and she joins me now. Claudia, great to see you. Thank you very much for coming on Sports Day. So give us a bit about how the scoring works in the World Gliding Championships and how you're doing as well in the competition.
Okay, yes. So World Championship in gliding runs over a fortnight. So we fly every day and we race every day, and we get set a route, a task around a number of turning points, say from Husbands Bosworth over towards East Anglia and then down into Buckinghamshire and then back to Northamptonshire and back to Husbands Bosworth. And whoever gets around the fastest wins the day. And then all the scores from each day are added up so that at the end of the fortnight, you've got an overall world champion. A friend took me to a gliding club in Germany when I was 22. And I didn't know anything about gliding. I didn't know what a glider looked like or anything. I'd never seen a glider before, and which is a bit embarrassing as I'm from Germany where gliding kind of started. And then we got to the gliding club and the locals there talked me into having a trial lesson. I initially said I can't because I'm scared of heights. And they said, most of us are scared of heights. It's really not a problem. It's different in the glider. In the trailer, we took it on holiday to Germany, and I flew it there, and then we towed it back. It's got a lot more expensive since Brexit and COVID. It used to be about, £200, Dover Calais, and for us this year it was about £600. And now it's about £1,000 if you do Harwich to Hoek van Holland. I'm currently trying to see if I can fly German gliders and just go over there without a glider and then borrow one of their club gliders next year, because it gets very expensive.
Hi, my name is Kyla, and I've been gliding for almost 2 years now. And I've always been at this club. I'm a solo pilot now, and I've done my silver distance. I used to volunteer at the top of the hill at the zoo over there, and I told my dad, wow, there's planes that fly over me. I had no idea what gliding was at all. So he got me a voucher for a trial flight, and I came and I did it, and it was amazing. And then I never came back, but I kept talking about it. And then a year later, he got me a voucher for an intensive course, and I did the intensive course for a week, and I never left. I came back every single week for an entire year, sometimes multiple times a week.
Cloudy. I might need to borrow your German English comprehension.
It's Barry doesn't speak English.
Oh, yes. Shall I set it to Danish?
No, it doesn't have it. It's allowed.
Just get
Cloudy was one of the first female members that I met at this club, and she honestly left a lasting impression on me. We flew together quite a lot during my instructional phase, so she instructed me quite a lot. I still love to fly with her.
And what could be better, Lewis, on an evening like this than a flight in a glider?
Absolutely, great evening, yeah. The 11th Women's World Gliding Championships begin later this week after a 2-year break.
It's taking place in the Midlands, but many of the British squad's leading lights are from here in the south. Jo Campbell went along to meet them.
It's going to be a nice day.
Liz Sparrow from Hampshire is running the World Championships. The last time we met her in 2019, she was part of the British squad.
And we're in the air.
Preparing for the competition in Australia, one of the last international events before COVID put everything on hold.
I came back through on my way home, changing at an airport, when on reflection a week later I thought, that was all right, but it might not have been, because of course literally got home just in time when just everything started to shut down.
Liz is just an incredible figurehead for the BGA, and so seeing how everything has worked out for her and all the hard work that she's put in for the BGA and for gliding in general to advance women in the industry has just been really inspiring, and both of them are a big part of the reason that I wanted to become one of the women's ambassadors.
So I'm Liz. I tell you what I always do. I know that I always start everything with so. I remember when I was learning to fly, I just could not do whatever it was we were trying to do. I couldn't do it, and I was sitting there thinking, oh God, I'm hopeless. I'm never going to do this. Right. So now I have to decide where I'm going to go. That's the question. So where is my map? Here's an air map. When we've decided where we're going to go, then we've got to check to see if there's any temporary airspace. I don't know if you can see. So I'm going to go down to Salisbury, up to a place called Kingston Bagpuce, which is near Oxford, and then back, and that's 190 kilometres. And what I want to do, I want to go twice round that today if possible. So I've looked at that, and there's nothing in that area to worry me. There are some people winch launching hang gliders rather than gliders near one of my tracks, and there is what's number 44, and there are some people paragliding up near Kingston Bagpuce, so they might even be marking thermals for me if my luck's in.
Load a different task, and here, this is the map. You can zoom it out. This is great because it shows me where I should be going, and it gives me all sorts of useful information like final glide information, whether I'll make it back here or how much more height I need and where the wind is coming from and stuff like that, and how close I actually am to airspace, because on here we've got all the airspace, but it's more difficult to work out where I am in relation to that. So with that, it's a lot clearer. this witch is a women in gliding symbol, because in Central and Eastern Europe female pilots are known as witches. We are proud to call ourselves witches, and so this is something from the Women's World Championship when it was here in the UK. I think the Lithuanian team brought that as a little present for all pilots. So yeah, World Witches 2022.
Gliding is a sport. To race a glider cross country, you have to work out so many different things. You know, where's the next piece of lift coming from? Where's the strongest lift going to be? Where do I need to go next? What airspace can't I go into, and so on. So it's absolutely fascinating. Just beating gravity for a while is just amazing. Okay, brakes and canopy closed and locked. Cable on, please.
Yeah, for black link.
Thank you.
Close.
Okay, so again, I'm starting my lookout. I'm looking from behind the glider on the right-hand side, over the top to the front, from behind the glider on the left-hand side, over the top to the front. And I am ready to release the cable if I need to. Can't see anybody
There's several different launches of different launch methods apparently. I didn't know this before, but the two that we do at this club are aerotow and winch. So aerotow is when you have another aircraft flying in front of you and you're connected to them by a tow rope, and they essentially pull you up into the air. They're an aircraft with an engine though. And then the other type is a winch, so you essentially have a very, very long cable that is connected to you, and the winch essentially is at the other end of the airfield, and it rolls in that cable very, very quickly, and that airspeed gets you up off the ground and up into the air. We don't have an engine that we need to deal with, but our launch methods can create some greenhouse gases, and so it's not entirely eco-friendly. I don't know if anything in this world is though, but it is quite a green sport.
And as I say, it's all on the sun's energy. It's all natural energy, completely green. We need a bit of a hand to get launched, and but once we're up there, it's just all green energy. And we can do these amazingly fast flights. And on a really good day, so I've done a 300-kilometre flight at over 100 miles an hour, all with no engine. We just climbed through 1,500 feet. Now often people, when they fly the first few times, they get very nervous about any of the turbulence in the air. But of course when you're a glider pilot, turbulence is your friend. You want bumpy, you want air going up. There is air coming down. Whenever you have air going up, you're going to get air going down. And our job is to find the bit that's going up and to avoid as much as possible of the air that's going down.
Here by our hill, when air blows against the hill, it's then pushed up by the hill, and so that body of air is rising upwards, and our glider, because it doesn't have an engine, uses those bodies of rising air. Another common one that we use are thermals. Those are generated by heat on the ground, and that creates bodies of air moving upwards, and we use those, and they can be quite narrow, which is why we turn in them and we circle in them.
We're flying in a thermal. We're often close to other gliders who'll be sharing the thermal with us. So we don't want to be looking in the instruments, in the cockpit at the instruments. So we have this audio tone on the vario, so it tells me that, so you better bit as the tone goes up, beep, 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 like that. We're doing all of this on the sun's energy. The sun's shining on the ground, it's heating some bits more than others, that makes the air above them hotter than the air next to it, it becomes more buoyant and up it goes. And all of these clouds that we're looking at now, all of the clouds up above us here, these are all convective clouds caused by the sun producing thermals. And there's another glider over here, just ahead of us. We'll go and see if he's in a better thermal than we are. So I'm looking outside the glider, inside it, above, below, all the way around for people coming to join us. So it's really busy. At the same time, you've got to actually stay in the thermal, and when we're flying cross country, also work out whether it's time to leave the thermal, where we're going next, where the next piece of really good lift is. As we come back round, you can actually really clearly see the City of London. On the nose now we've got the City of London, we've got Canary Wharf and everything standing up beautifully in the evening sunshine.
Probably getting over my anxiety with gliding. I used to be a lot more nervous than I am now. I used to sort of get more and more nervous when I'm waiting to launch as well, and I think just getting over that and having it go okay every time, whether I'm landing in a field at a different airfield or back here, and I enjoy my flight every time, and I think just enjoying it truly. You know, I never felt like I came here and it was a chore or that I didn't want to fly. It's just truly, it's been a nice escape from life.
Everything else, every worry, every day-to-day stuff stays on the ground because I just have to focus on my flying. So it's brilliant to clear my head. I go up there and I concentrate on the flight, and that's it.
And it's something you can't do in a half-hearted way. When you're in the air, you have to be completely focused. And for those of us who are busy, juggling family, juggling kids, job, it's what we do, isn't it? We're women, that's what we do. Actually, the focus, when you're up there, everything else vanishes off into the background. And you are focused on the flying. Maybe you're in a thermal with a hawk going around, maybe a buzzard, maybe one of the kites flying around with you. There's you, the sun's energy keeping you up there or not, and it is just an amazing feeling. So there you are. That's why we would like more women to get flying, because it is the best thing to do.
Because gliding isn't a sport where you have to have physical strength. It doesn't matter if a woman uses the controls or a man. It doesn't matter if you're strong or weak. It's totally irrelevant. So anybody can fly.
So now what I'm going to do is turn around and head back to the airfield. Out before I turn, and I look out under the upper wing before I straighten up. Here we go. we're, I suppose, about 5 kilometres from the airfield now. 6 kilometres, something like that. And we're going to beat back a little bit faster. Doing 60 knots at the moment, so I'm going to speed up. You'll be able to hear the air noise increase. If you want to land and you're a little bit too high, it's a real problem. So we have air brakes, and if you look out on the wings, you can see the air brakes, and you can hear that we're coming down now. Can't see anybody there, can't see anybody ahead of us. I don't think there's anything away there. And here we are, stopped in a rather better place than we did last time.
"39 members. So about 40 to 50 female members we have in women gliding and in the female members group as well. There's not that many, honestly, but compared to what it used to be like, or from what I've heard, it's getting better. But I believe that aviation only has about 6% women across all of aviation. So airlines, helicopters, fixed wing, private pilots.
As people get older and settle and start families, it still seems to be the women who are more likely to stop flying, to look after the family. It is slowly changing, but yeah, it's still quite often the men who then carry on if both were flying in the beginning.
I've tried so hard to get my friends to come gliding. I absolutely love it, and I wish I could share it with more people as well. When we had the Women's Day last year, I did have a couple people from my university come and do some flights as well. It's just very difficult with my degree at the moment to balance. They often say that life gets in the way of gliding, and I didn't believe anyone when they said that, and now it's happened to me. So, but I'd love to have more people come.
So it's really great to have a community of people who are there, who've been through what you've been, who maybe look a bit like you. I know I'm a little bit grey-haired these days, but it's really good to see other women, and so we've been supporting the women in the sport.
And 5 years ago or 4 years ago, the British Gliding Association nominated a women's ambassador. No, a women's advocate, sorry. And with the idea that there's one overall women's advocate, and as part of what they call the WING initiative, Women and Inclusivity in Gliding. And each club ideally should have a women's ambassador that works with the one women's advocate to just have a network of women in all clubs supported by the BGA to get more women gliding again.
I am a member of the female gliding group. I'm also currently the women's ambassador for this club, for LGC, and it's been a lot of fun. I get to meet a lot of new women, new girls who come in and want to join, and I think it's a nice way to sort of get the word out as well and let other girls know that you can do it too, because when I first came for my trial flight, I had no idea that I could fly. I came to an empty airfield in the middle of winter with just a few men around, did my trial flight, and I didn't realize that I was meant to come back and learn for myself. I just thought someone was supposed to fly me.
There are now many, many more women actually active in competition gliding. There are lots of women instructors, and we're now really keen to let more women know what an awesome thing gliding is to do. And particularly young women say it really gives them so much self-confidence when they learn to fly.
And we do have quite a few young female members as well, so the number of female cadets, our young female cadets, is growing as well, which is fantastic. So we're heading in the right way. It's just change takes time.
So, we want all the women out there to go gliding. This is what we want. We want you to go gliding because you will love it, because it is the best thing. It is just brilliant.
It's just such a lovely sport. I just want more people to get into it, and more people of all sorts of backgrounds as well. And I think that if the environment is a bit more diverse, I think everybody benefits.